Autodrome. I am Cypher Knight 77,
I'm Dutch Musa.
and we're here to bring you live racing coverage as the GT3 season has finally kicked off underway, and we'll hope to bring you the entire season in its entirety, and hope to give you the perspective of the drivers as we go through this season, of course. So then, as you can clearly see, we have a much more packed grid. More or less all the teams have showed up here at Dubai and are fully willing to bring the full power of their GT3 cars to life here.
We'll be seeing a lot more serious racing today as there are a few points on the line.
Of course, points for all the drivers involved, but of course all the drivers are looking for that early season W to kind of pick their season, kick their season off on a high gear.
You know, if you get a lot of points now, that means that you can maybe put in a little bit less effort later on.
Indeed. But welcome to everyone who is joining us here. We'll simply go through the grid. Now, it was only a preseason race, but it definitely can show some of the early season contenders in the form of Honda's Flip Flip and Razy. So they're all looking to be championship favorites during this season. Of course, Flip Flip a popular driver in other series as well, so we'll see if he can pull off a double win this week. As if I'm correct, he did win in Ferrari last night.
That would be pretty impressive.
But of course, you still got a plentiful field of other drivers willing to showcase their talents, and by no means is this going to be an easy task for any one driver. I mean,
16 drivers here today, so we should have it.
Yes. So I don't know, have you been in any of these GT3 cars around here?
Not any of the ones racing, but well, like the Aston Martin, but this is not really an incredibly difficult circuit to race on. It's a pretty bland circuit, but it can be intense when you're actually racing someone.
Indeed, this track is very long and has some quite obnoxious turns, but when you do get the handle of it, it can be a decently flowing circuit. Of course, the points of interest are mainly going to be around the turn 6 and 7 region in Sector 1. That'll be where the drivers are going to be putting their brakes and their left side tires to the absolute test of performance out there. As well as this sector here in Sector 3 is a very difficult braking point to get the car slowed down all the way. Then you have to arc the car to get ready for the next turn. And it's kind of the stuff like that that'll really test these drivers out today.
You can't really see it, but that corner where Flip just went through is actually quite it's called on camber. And it can throw you off balance if you do lose a little bit of track in there.
The fastest man on track is Dalavan, the 158.3 C in the Cadillac. Dalavan did show some sparks of performance at Catalunya, just wasn't able to finish the deal, so of course it was only a preseason race, so still able to dust off the cobwebs and really get the gears grinding. Oh, well, as I say that, he's in the wall. I guess that'll make 2 on the commentator's curse this season.
3.
Is it 3 now? I've already lost track.
I've got it on the notes thing.
Well, Dalavan's teammate Yubi is here, so it'll be interesting performance from them to see how they'll be picking it up. And also, 2 teams who are now here include the Audi and McLaren drivers, which I believe include to go to the notes here. Yes, Kev and Kaz. So they'll both be running the Audi Sport cars. I have the McLaren of Johnny and I'm trying to remember who his teammate is.
he's probably not in it because we only have 50 drivers.
Right. But Daz's teammate is here. He should have a second Porsche.
Oh, yeah.
The donkey. Right. I believe one of them failed to complete the race at Catalunya, but hopefully they'll be able to complete it this weekend. And even still, we seem to have a surprising lack of any red cars. It's just a shame.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a couple of these, they've actually got some nice red logos. Apparently no one else likes them.
It's all yellow, green, and blue. These are mostly European colors, right?
Yeah.
We got no red or purples or blacks in here. Come on.
Let's check by Kev. Wait, no, they don't have orange.
Or orange either. No, I was just complimenting on what you said. You'll have to mind us for the ridiculous commentary that you'll be hearing today. This will be a night race, so there's that to look forward to. Has currently sits himself into third, actually only 1,000th of a second off of Flip's time. But of course, one thing we will have to look very closely at today is fuel mileage. This track is kind of notorious for high fuel rates, and with all the drivers pretty much starting near 70 liters, you can expect that they'll be likely pitting near the halfway point of this race.
There's two very long straights where you'll be redlining the entire straight, so that will use up a lot of the fuel.
Not to mention the heavy emphasis on the left side tires on this track. Anyone who's driven a GT car around here knows what I'm talking about, that the left tires get an absolute workout around here. And this track is also very prone to tires overheating.
We could actually, because last week I thought that everyone got a tire change except for, who was it again? Was it UV?
No.
On Max, Flip, and Racy were ridiculously quick after the pit stop bases. UV just wasn't there.
Yeah. Even Kev goes the fastest in practice with a 1:57.6. One more pass to see if he can improve his time. He currently sits 5th place, and it is up into 2nd place. Actually just a 10th off of Kev. So both the Audi drivers putting in a real showstopper performance here. Let's have our only McLaren entry today, currently sitting in 6th. Very loose off the final corner. You had to catch the car there. That's kind of how this track is kind of surface. It's like incredibly flat, really, and only really it only really undulates and stuff in certain areas, so that kind of catches the car off guard.
As you can see, that it goes downhill and it's a flat corner.
Across the line, he sticks to 10th as well. So the donkey now on the track. So more or less everyone has finished their final practice laps. Picked it up just a little bit too quickly. That might be a track limit invalidation there, and spins the second to last corner. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for these guys when it comes to picking up the power, because you're always trying to gain an advantage these guys are fitted with traction control, so you might want to fiddle around with that to see what works and what doesn't work for that. But either way, practice is now over, and it is both the Audis of Kev and Cass sitting 1-2, and Dalavan in the Cadillac sitting 3rd place. We are now heading straight forward to qualifying to see how these guys will start out for this race. Welcome to everyone who will be joining us for qualifying and then to the race. It'll be interesting to see who the fastest man in qualifying is. And we'll likely go on board the first person who comes across the line regardless, which seems to be Bowie, although he's carrying quite a bit of fuel in. Definitely seems like a lot of drivers going out incredibly early to try to get that early run in. Around half the grid actually. Sort of in that one cluster going through turn 3. Cadillac leading the Jetta and the Porsche.
So it's really right?
Yeah. So with Bowie with a decent chunk of fuel, Flip, that's actually him catching up during the pace lap, but they'll definitely need to give these guys some space considering the track is relatively medium width really. There is some space to pass, although might see some guys interrupting some other on their qualifying laps, or even pace laps really. But we can go on board the Nissan and see how Bowie does take this Dubai 24-hour circuit. And we'll just sort of take you a lap around. Pick up the throttle really quickly off of the last turn, and then pretty much just have the entire straight to think about your approach into turn 1. It's a very off-camber downhill turn, so you gotta make sure the car doesn't sort of lift off from under you. It's all the way down to 3rd gear, make sure not to get unsettled by the curves, then quick left into turn 2, and then you have to set yourself up for the quick right-hander of 3 and into 4. And you have to figure out how to make sure the car doesn't get settled as they go into 5, 6, 7, and 8 here. Very difficult set of turns, really hard to sort of pinpoint the car where it needs to go. If you can get that through, then you should be able to make a good lap here. Then make sure you set yourself up for 9. There really isn't a decent way to get through this corner, you just have to sort of flow through it. And you can sort of start to relax on the straight. This will be a decent chance for the guys with better straight line speed to maybe get some overtakes in. Your braking point just before the 100-meter board. Very slow corner, probably one of the slowest on the tracks. Then set yourself up for the next left-hander. Make sure not to run wide on exit. Next braking zone just at the 100-meter board. It's a very medium speed corner, but then you can set yourself up for the exit. You might see some battles going into sector 3 around this part. Probably the last difficult part of this track. You have this double left here, really difficult to get the car slowed in using pretty much all the turning angle you can think of, then have to quickly shift back to the right. That could unsettle some cars in the end point here. And then the final turn, it's pretty much all flat, so you gotta be careful when you pick up the gas. You do that, and that is a lap around Dubai, and Bowie's lap time is a 159.2. Across the line set 157.5. Then I think one of the Cadillacs there of Dalavan, who sets a 157.5. Razy goes third, 158.3. And you have another decent chunk of cars behind. That's the Donkey going 202.
Just trying to find.
It's fine. So, should expect times around the 157 flat region, so there is still pace for these guys to go just a little bit faster. Definitely probably feeling the track temperature and track conditions out now. Toby,
Quite a
go.
lot of margin on relatively high fuel.
Yeah. But then again, it's already been 2 laps and half of qualifying is already gone out, so you're not already making out laps, you're already under the clock. Mike going 6 with 2 flat, really. And that's Kev knocking himself up into 3rd with a 157.5, and then UV also going 5th with a 158.7. Both the Bentley boys still haven't put in times just yet, as well as Hondax. Johnny going 7th, 159.3. So most likely some invalidated times there. These are the final 3 who have yet to make times. Looks like Hondax slowing up to maybe get a better run. He's got one of the Bentleys in front of him. Daz, I believe, also looking to get some space on his lap. As you can see, there's just some small clusters around certain points of the Dubai track. Definitely just people either on their laps or sort of preparing for their next laps. Joe sets a time, it puts him in 202 region, so that's 11th. Now only Jukebox and Hondax remain in terms of time settings. Razy does keep onto the pole though, he goes a little bit faster, 157.2. Flip boosts himself into 3rd with a 157.5, so really just under 5/10 separating the top 4. Razy's decided to come in. I don't know if he'll have an opportunity to come back out one more time. That's unfortunate because Cass has just beaten his time by a 10th. He goes 157.1. And that Audi on point. Toby has come in. He might be calling it quits. Flip is in, so looks like he is done for the day. So now if you're not on the track, you're pretty much not likely to get any time in whatsoever. So Razy and Flip are relatively done for the day. We'll see if Toby can make it around for one more lap, although he's going to be on the clock. Honda's a little bit of Porsche traffic. Might slow him up on his overall lap time. Still got one more attempt though. Across the line, he's also got the 2nd Bentley ahead of him. And Hondax goes first.
The 157 dead, as you said.
Yeah, so Hondax really able to pull out the performance of that car when he needed it. Dalavan still kind of falling down the grid order. As Crazy's falling down to third in the overall order. Jukebox and the second Cadillac, as well as actually one of the Audis behind him. It's actually going to be a real cause for time troubles. This Jukebox is the only chance he's got to put in a lap time. So off the final corner, 13, ahead of the Donkey, ahead of Daza, who's also called it in. Johnny down to 10th. Toby, I don't think Toby made it in time, so he will not be able to set another lap time. So he is relegated to 12th. Johnny across the line to improve his speed. Can he do it? It is 8th. So decent effort by the Soul McLaren there. Kev and Dalavan still on the track, 6th and 4th respectively, and the Donkey too as well. So he could make a decent upset here, although the course kind of gets away from him a little bit. Across the line a little bit, too much curb usage, and across it is still 14, so likely an invalidated time from him. Dalavan does pick Razy to go third with a 157.1. And lastly, Kev Sinel is the last who can make time. A little bit too much curve on exit. The track limits will really get you here, so we'll have to see if they allow it. But Kev currently 6th. Can he improve his time? Just a bit. He goes to 5th. And there you have it. Hondax, Kaz, and Dalavan, Mercedes, Audi, and Cadillac, your top 3. Followed by Razy, Kev, Flip, Yuvi, Johnny, Bowie, Mike, Joe, Toby, Jukebox, Donkey, and Daza, rounding out your 15 drivers. And once again, it seems to be the Mercedes who is on the point when it comes to qualifying speed. And of course, these drivers will have to remember to pick their cars in with 70 liters of fuel. You haven't said anything in like 10 minutes. Do you want to say something?
Maybe they fitted that new steering wheel thing to Honda's car as well.
Oh. Anyone who gets... If any of you get that reference, we'll talk about it later. But we'll go down the grid. Row 1, it is Hondax and Kaz, Noyens, Mercedes, and Audi. It'll be interesting to see how they go on from there. Dalavan and Razy round out row number 2, Cadillac and Janetta, respectively. Row 3 is Kev and Flip in this other Audi and the second Janetta. Then, row 4, it is Yuvi and Jean in the Cadillac and the McLaren, excuse me. Then, you have row... I've already lost track of numbers. Row 5. Row 5, which is Bowie and Mike, excuse me. Bowie in the Nissan and Mike in the other Mercedes? Forget again.
I think so, yes.
I apologize for unprofessionalism, but it's clearly been a while. Row 6 is Joe and Toby, representing Bentley and the other Nissan. No, wait.
Wait, no, not Bentley.
The other Nissan, right?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Row 7 is Jukebox and Donkey in the other Bentley and the Porsche. And lastly, Daza in the last row in the second Porsche. That's about as unprofessional as you're gonna get here. But welcome to everyone. If you have a favorite driver that you're rooting for, make sure you give them a shout out, or if you just want to show us some love, that is also appreciated as well. But we're here for the start of GT3 racing at its finest as we go to 4 red lights, and they're off. It's a really good start for Hondex as he gets away from Kaz off the line. Dalavan sticking into 3rd as well. And meanwhile, just behind them, both the Ginettas fighting for 5th behind Kev. It'll be a real drag race as they head down into the first turn. Ooh, slight contact with Kaz and Hondex, although able to keep it really planted. Dalavan looking for his opportunity around it. That's the McLaren of Johnny around, and one of the Ginettas, that's Razy, who started up front, and Bowie was also collected in that. So I wonder if Razy had gotten a pretty poor start, because he was all the way down to like below the top 10 before that happened. No, I believe Joe didn't get off the line quick enough, so I think he was back there by that time. But meanwhile, now Toby and Jukebox also going at it. Mike moving up to 8th, but back up front it is Hondax and Kaz now, your top 2, followed by Kev and Dalavan and Flip. Flip also not having a very good start as well. We'll have to see if Kaz has any damage, though. He did make contact with the back of Hondax's bumper. So that might be any hood or engine damage for him. Meanwhile, further down the field, it is the Donkey sort of ahead of this second pack, as Mike's trying to climb his way back in as well. That's actually a second Cadillac just behind Flip with UV. Going pretty far deep, but able to catch it. And then the first Porsche of Toby actually making a really good start, and we do have one in the pits. It is Hondax.
And he's got a penalty for 10 seconds or something.
So,
oh, it might have been a jump start, because I thought he got away well.
So Hondax in the pits. So again, just not able to put the whole race together, and right now this is Toby, who, I keep saying that Toby's a Porsche. Toby fighting Razy now for 7th place. We apologize. I swear we'll get this problem settled by the next race. But he's actually going really slow as there's the actual Porsche behind us. There's contact with the second Nissan. Both Nissans collected, and I believe that's Jukebox in the Bentley. Oh my, so there was a Porsche spun around there. I'm not really sure who that was, but it collected both the Nissan drivers.
Was that the Donkey?
Or
disconnected shortly after.
Or Nissan, if you want to be butthurt about the way that I pronounce it.
You said no.
Nissan, how am I supposed to say it?
Depends.
Anyways, while this is going on, Flip now challenging Dalavan for 3rd, as that has actually moved Kev and Cass, both the Audi drivers, into 1st and 2nd. And Daza might, no, he was still in the pits, so second Porsche still probably having some damage after earlier contact. But Hondax has come out in 12th place, just outside of the top 10, so you can still recover from this, even with a 10-second penalty. Got Joe and Toby just ahead of him, Bentley and Nissan fighting for 10th place. Joe looking for a move on Toby up the inside of the Nissan. He makes a decent effort to block him there. Not able to do too much about it. Although around the outside, that is a really good move by Joe. And then up the inside, here comes Hondax to sort of make his way back. As now Mike is in the pits. Yeah, Daza is out of this race as well. Mercedes going up the inside of the Bentley, and Honda X is up into 9th place now. So he can still make a decent recovery effort. Now he's got next the Nissan of Bowie ahead of him. Or for the lead now, it is both the Audis fighting one another of Kev and Kaz. Anyone who's been in Gavra Racing long enough knows that these two always seem to be close to one another and fighting one another, as there goes Kev down the inside of his fellow teammate and Audi driver. Sticks around the outside though, decides to cut in and is not able to make the move just yet, although Kaz leaves him the inside space. They battle down there, and Kev is able to make the move on Kaz for the lead of Dubai. And Dalavan still able to hold off from Flip. Yeah, the second Cadillac of UV now finds himself behind Bowie as he's making his way back up the field along with Hondax.
It's actually the 7th.
Flip still trying to put some pressure on Dalavan, as all four of these guys are actually really close together, both in one another's draft. As that's Dalavan maybe looking for a small move up the inside of the Cadillac, not able to do it. Breezy's actually the driver behind this pack, although he's sort of backed off a little bit. He's got a decent run there in that Ginetta. And the Ginetta able to get a little bit more quartering speed than that Cadillac. Just not able to do it. Meanwhile, UV still fighting Bowie for 8th place there in the Nissan. Or Nissan.
To your right.
Honda X is streaking away from this to try to catch back up to the main pack up ahead. And just behind this group is Joe's teammate Jukebox in 11th place. And Toby's still trying to recover it in 12th. Michael came out of the pits, likely he has a particular speeding penalty as well, in 13th now. Oh, you can see there, just up ahead, that is contact with UV and, Bowie, excuse me. UV just going in far too deep and hit the back of him. And there goes Jukebox there for 10th place. Joe up into 8th place now. How unfortunate there. I think UV just went way too fast. He wasn't able to slow it down in time. Meanwhile, Kev actually now has put a 1-second gap over Kaz. Maybe looking for a move on Dalavan. He hasn't been able to catch up. He's actually starting to fall back just a bit. Maybe he's trying to preserve his fuel and tires for later in the stint. Other close battle on track is now between Bowie and Joe, the Nissan and the Bentley, as well as Toby and Yubi, who's, as Yubi you can see there just in the background is spun off there, or no, excuse me, not Yubi, Toby spun off there in the second Nissan. Flip gets a really good run off that corner. Was he gonna set up, or excuse me, he was gonna look to set up, but we were quite aware that the Ginettas don't seem to have the straight line speed like some of these other manufacturers do.
I must say though, if Flip can get a good run at the last corner and just keep real close through first sector, he seems to be a lot quicker than Dalavan in first sector, so that's definitely where I might hope to get that.
Plays the small look, but not able to do it. Although a lot of penalties being distributed here, I assume both Kev and Dalavan have roughly 1 second penalties, so they don't have to push themselves too hard, but they still have to keep in close distance. Meanwhile, Mike, even though he had his incidents earlier, he's still actually one of the faster drivers on the track right now. And so, about 2 further along, he could catch Toby, who's been struggling a little bit. Now flip on the back of the Cadillac.
Cadillac's just so fast though.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to really try to make a move because he's just got the better straight line speed. You can see how much Flip catches up in the corners though. In fact, that's probably where he'll try to make the move relatively shortly. Oh, as I say that, oh, he's in the wall. So Flip, with just a small mistake like that, has binned it into the wall here on lap 6.
I believe that's number 4.
What do you mean 4?
You said shortly, and then shortly that happened.
Oh. Oh, you mean commentators? Oh.
Yes.
Alright. Well, at least someone's keeping track. Well, with that, Razy has now become the lead Janetta in this group. As he moves himself up into 4th. Flip will see if that damage is going to cost him, but he's now under pressure by John Bon Jovi and McLaren. There, I said it.
Thank you.
And in the back, we do have a battle for 12th between Toby and Mike, so Mike in the second Mercedes, still putting on the pressure on Nissan. He just gets slightly loose. That allows Mike to catch up. So now I'm curious, are both Porsches out of this race? Because Daza's out. Okay.
And the donkey's out, yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately it is a double DNF for Porsche here. Turns out their real life luck has not correlated to video game luck at all. As now Flip is in from 6th place, so he'll release that position to Hondax and Bowie. This is Joe still looking on the back of Bowie. It's like a dance between these two. Joe very close to the back of that Nissan. It's basically the battle of the heavy hitters right here. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that's all it took to take Flip out. He's doing really good, keeping pace with Dalavat. Oh, it's just there, Bowie. Yeah, that's sort of all that happened, really. Just a little too much about the traction. And now Bowie finds himself just in front of Jukebox in the second Bentley.
Same situation, different person.
Pretty much. Jukebox looked for a small move there, and able to get it done.
It's pretty much a catch-up attempt to electric Evolution.
See, I'm not the only one who can make terrible jokes. Flip is out in 11th after damage repair, so like Hondax, he needs to make his way back up, and speaking of him, he is currently sitting in 6th place after passing John Bon Jovi. Or no, excuse me, Joe. No, Johnny's ahead of him still. Johnny's kind of been having a race of his own in 5th, which is pretty good for the sole McLaren driver.
Yeah, carrying the team right now. It is quite interesting though. Are we gonna have what F1 has in IRL, where you have top 6 and then pretty much have the rest of the field trying to compete for the rest of the points, or you know, we see close championship later on.
Ooh, so
with
you
some
have
gases.
that's a Bowie. Just a minor spin though, although that's allowed Yubi to get past.
I think Bowie maybe has some rear wing damage from the rear end.
Also could be tires overheating as well.
Yeah, it's also a possibility.
But I was saying, well, we certainly hope that all the drivers can compete for podiums and even wins. And sometimes it's really just a track-by-track basis.
That is true, yeah. I mean, we saw that a lot last season with Radicals, where some people weren't really competitive all season, but just amazing at certain tracks. That sort of thing.
Indeed. So, with 15 minutes gone by, your top 5 is Kev in the Audi, Kaz in the second Audi, and Dalvan in the first Cadillac, Razy in the first Jannetta, and John in the first McLaren. So before you were talking about the McLaren, I'm going to be confusing McLaren and Mercedes all season, aren't I?
Yes, unfortunately.
I can't help it if they were both the same team in like 2008.
Yeah.
The Mercedes steering wheel. That.
Yes.
Care to explain?
Pretty much what Mercedes have managed to do is, if Hamilton or Bottas were to pull on the steering wheel, it would actually pull the tires in tighter, so it would change the toe, which just means the angle at which the tires are pointing. And from what I've read, it can give it up to 3 kilometers per hour extra. But it's a bit iffy on the rules because in the article in the FIA rulebook says that you can't actually change the suspension settings while the car is moving. So Mercedes says this changes the steering, not the actual suspension. You'll actually have to wait until qualifying at Australia to see if Ferrari or England's actually going to launch any protests.
And you think they have that same technology on the Mercedes cars here?
Well, looking at how much faster Honda's was, he was what, 0.2 quicker? It wasn't that much quicker, but it would be pretty funny if they somehow managed to get that in this game.
Speaking of which, Flip is now caught up to the back of Bowie after his misfortunes. Currently fighting for 10th place there. He's got Mike just behind in the second Mercedes. I mean, the Mercedes are keeping some decent speed, we've just had some issues. Can't really say we have a definite potential scale right now. It's only the first race after all.
Yeah.
So this Flip on the inside of Bowie, and he exits sector 2, and he is able to move up into 10th place. So now he's got to chase down Yubi and Jukebox ahead of him. Yeah, it should get a little bit darker here at the Dubai circuit. I don't think that'll affect the track too much as, ooh, Jukebox just around there. So I was gonna say, I don't think it should affect the track conditions too much the later in the night it's gonna get. But it will at least relieve some of the stress on the tires in the hot conditions.
Talking about hot conditions, 2 Ferrari motors have blown out in their testing so far. I find that actually quite strange because Ferrari's sort of known in Formula 1 for their reliability these last couple of seasons.
Well, aren't Ferrari just known for just about everything at this point?
Except for championships. their last, drivers' championship was 2008. 2009 Button won, and then 2010 to 2013 was the Red Bull days. Since then, it's been Mercedes all the way. It's been 12 years since the last Ferrari champion.
Thank you for that interesting F1 fact of the day. Way to rub it home deep.
Yeah, but it's sort of, Ferrari just needs to. There was a point in the past where they were just really bad, and then they got some new management.
Mike, that was really close. Let's side by side though with Bowie. Is he gonna push him out? Kinda did.
The love tap.
Here we go on.
But Ferrari just got some new management, or at that time, and that pretty much changed around everything. And then the sort of dominant era that Ferrari had in the early 2000s.
Right. Oh, just ahead, Bowie. Did he put it in the wall? Well, actually, they've got those small little styrofoam blocks down there. I'm not really sure why those are there, but they're there. And I guess he's finally called it quits and decided to come in. Oh, he just barely takes out the pit road sign.
Well, how are people gonna know what speed's right now?
They have a pit limiter.
Shh.
So I got a pretty good idea.
Yes.
Why don't we go on board some of the cars and just listen to the engine sounds for a little bit? Starting with the Audi. Yes. This will be our version of Crank It Up if anyone's ever watched a NASCAR race.
Yeah. The excitement.
Well, you just listen to the engines and how different they sound.
Gee, what engines do the Audis have?
The 6, I think?
More than likely. Let's see, Audi GT3. It has a V10 with 4 valves per cylinder. It is a V10. 5.2 liter.
Alright, let's see what's the Alabama.
Oh, you can just immediately tell it's American. It just sounds rough. Cadillac, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I spelled that right.
I just type Cadillac GT3.
There's a V6 twin turbo 3.6 I'm surprised that Aston Audi has V10 Cadillac's still V6.
See about the Janetta.
That just makes me laugh. It sounds so underpowered.
It's probably because it is underpowered.
Ginetta has a 3.7 liter V6. Wait, no, it's a 3.7 liter V8.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way this is a V6. It sounds like a V8.
Yeah, no. It's got the Ginetta Cup and the Ginetta Racing GT3 side by side. So like,
Well, we should go on board Honda because he's battling John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi.
I'm just gonna call him that from now on.
Yeah, but look at the width of the machine.
I guess you all can tell us what interior you like the best too. Very cluttery. Meanwhile, UV did make his first pit stop, so he's got to get down to 13th for now. The McLaren interior is always sort of weird to me if you go under like that. Like, is it just me and thinking it's so small and quiet?
It is actually surprisingly quiet. The Mercedes has a 4-liter V8 twin turbo. V8. Let's see what the
That's a V8.
This is from the actual car website. Yeah, it's a 3.8 liter V8. Twin turbo. They're all twin turbos.
We'll stay on board this battle for now because he's still battling Hondax for 5th place. Hondax still trying to make his way back into this, although I think he has to make another pit stop maybe.
Hondax actually seems to be too quick. Like, when he enters the front, he's too close. So at the point where he actually can't he's too close.
So you're saying he does have that steering wheel in that thing?
I mean, on the straights, he's not thinking of ultimate speed. So, actually, I mean, see how close he gets.
Well, he was close to our last lap.
He lost time at the end of the straight, though. So I don't think he's got the steering wheel gizmo.
Who car is off? That might be UV. Yeah, it was UV. I wonder if he's had an instant there, but it seems like he's picked it back up.
His rear wing doesn't seem to be bent.
Yes. Kaz is now into the pits. So he's probably
He doesn't have a penalty at this point.
just about everyone. Meanwhile, Johnny. Yeah. Now would be a real good time to pick up those extra 3 kilometers.
Go zoom!
Ooh, Johnny thought about it, blocking him, but he's actually able to keep it off there.
That was a zoom right there if I've ever seen. Hondex came from 6/10, goes right on the straight.
Both of them kind of thinking better of it. Flashing lights definitely giving him a heads up. I don't know why you'd want to be doing that though. It's just to say I'm faster. It's just to say I'm faster than you.
It might be for the the first corner incident. No.
Well, there's the extra 3 kilometers. Like mini DRS. Oh! He saved it. That is Honda's now up in the 4th place by the time this all cycles out.
Right, 251. Or he'll just about me.
Anyway, on board the Bentley of Joe, so that'll be an interesting perspective.
It's just so good.
I definitely feel like elevated in this car though.
Yeah.
You do not feel close to the ground at all.
This is one of those cars where the steering you pretty much need to be able to turn about 300 degrees to the left or right. Actually, it doesn't have to steer that much.
You got Mike behind in the... Actually, no. That's the Cadillac. Toby, I meant, in the Nissan. Which I like the Nissan, honestly. I think it might be my personal favorite GT3. You can just see like all the style differences. It's really what makes this class so unique.
A little bit of team orders there.
It's a shame we don't have the Porsche on board, but all I'm gonna say is the GTE one's better.
Actually, I haven't seen the GT3 on board yet.
Meanwhile, though, Hondex hasn't been able to get too far away from McLaren, actually. And I think just, I'm trying to think who's battling right now. We have 2 sets of battles as Dalavan is in. That's Joe catching up. Well, actually, no, Annoyance pitted, so... that battle, and that's Jukebox and Flip going at it. Jukebox might let Flip go here, we'll see. Closing in, but not able to pass just yet as Dalavan just now completes his pit stop, so he'll get out ahead.
But if you look at the gas difference between Flip and Honda, that's a big difference.
Yeah, Flip definitely filled up to go the rest of the way. Honda's probably just did some drive-through repair and went on by.
Oh yeah, it was a drive-through, it wasn't actually a pit stop, wasn't it?
Yeah, Honda still has to pit.
Ah.
Dalavan comes out in 5th place ahead of Kaz, so that's important for the standing's sake.
Yeah, they're going to the end now.
Jukebox hasn't pitted yet, so Flip is kind of just losing time at this rate.
I think this must be so frustrating. You know you're faster than the guy in front, but you just can't get ahead.
Meanwhile, our leader Kev is now in for his scheduled pit stop.
See where he comes out relative to I was going to say maybe we should stick with the Ginetta logo there, it's straight so they can't do anything.
Got a GP2 engine in the back of that thing. He's gonna get passed by Hondax and Johnny there, but still in there. Could be taking a little bit more fuel than usual. Or maybe some damage repair. Oh,
maybe tires. That was very low. Kev wasn't actually in contact.
So yeah, Dalavan has passed Kev on track, so that's really important when this all settles out. Kaz has also passed him as well, going into turn 1. So
Just about.
Kev, who was looking like the leading Audi, is now falling behind his Audi teammate as well as the Cadillac. And now all that's left is whenever Razy pits.
The jukebox has fallen also. I think he's spun.
So yeah, that allows Flip to move up. Well, Honda still has to pit as well.
Johnny as well. So Flip's really only about 30 seconds behind.
So that means the lead will most likely relegate to Dalavan. But if Kev's on new tires, and he could still try to pass his teammate, we'll have to see how this works out for him, as they actually go side by side. Kev on the inside of Kaz, and he does make the move on his teammate. Not going to make it too difficult.
Kev now looking to take the fight to Dalavan.
This could be a good strategy call for him. We'll have to wait and see.
Interesting strategy, Colin. Let's see how this stays.
Breezy's lost a lot of time though, because now Hondax and Johnny have. Ooh, does he have damage?
Yeah, it was on my side.
Yeah, Breezy with a lot of damage is being caught by Hondax and Johnny.
4 seconds left.
So unfortunately, both Janettas having some sort of issue here. So this could be the chance for Hondax to sort of make his move as now Joe pits from 7th place. If Hondax can get around Razy, this should put him roughly in the 4th place maybe.
Which won't actually be a bad catch-up race.
Ooh, very close. Back of Razy.
Doesn't seem like Razy's got suspension damage, so it's okay for us for a little while.
We know the Janettas aren't exactly known for their top speed. This might be where Hondax sets him up to make the move, really. Going into sector 3. Looks onto the inside of Razy. Razy gives him plenty of space, although he might be coming into the pits this time. And indeed, Hondax does make the move. He doesn't come into pit. So now Johnny looking on the back of Razy. That's a lot of damage.
Goddamn Billy Mays.
Billy Mays? It's not Billy Mays.
No way.
Phil Swift.
Swift.
Did you hear this man just now? How do you confuse Billy Mays and Phil Swift?
But wait, there's more. They're pretty much the same.
Meanwhile, though Dalavan has been able to pull a gap on Kev. So even with presumably fresh tires, he's been able to catch up. Although Dalavan might be in the zone, as so to speak.
last lap.
Ahead, John is trying to make a move on Razy. Not quite. He's really close though.
Yeah, he'll probably get it done.
Thought about to be inside. Is Razy gonna let him have it? No, he backs off. Slip up.
This is a little bit of oversteer.
Around the outside Johnny goes, and looks like he's up in the second place for the moment. Indeed, up in the second place for the McLaren.
Like just fuel, so you actually have to pit some.
Still looking for a small fight back there in turn 1. I don't think the damage is helping him at all. I'm not really sure where the damage specifically is hurting him though. He's still looking okay for the corners.
It's the front right tire. You get the camera of the front left tire. Right. Front right going straight. Front left.
He got a decent run off that corner. He could still challenge Johnny here down the straight. Johnny might be saving a little bit of fuel. So down the inside, and that is Razy momentarily up to second, although backs out of it. But all the more, this fighting is helping Dalavan catch up.
Kev's catching Dalavan as well, under a second.
And so, this is potentially the de facto race for the lead between Dalavan and Kev. We'll have to see about the gap that Hondax has made for himself. This is really closed in the gap now. I'll leave the Cadillac for the de facto lead. Where's Kev gonna try to make the move? Make it here. Oh, very close quarter racing with the side of Dalavan there. Indeed, he does make it stick. And so he'll fall back down to 6th roughly.
Mike actually also.
Johnny coming out of the pits right now, so he'll be behind this group. So all that's left is for when Hondax and Razy decide to pit. While Kaz starting to pick up the pace as well, he's slowly catching up to Dalavan. So he's not going to let his teammate get away just yet. Hondax, when is he going to pull the trigger and come in? He should have less than roughly 6 or 5, really. He still decides to stay out.
It's pretty much his last lap, I think.
Hondax really going all the way to try to gain as much of a gap as possible on low fuel.
And it's actually not even gaining much. It's actually losing things.
Kev is most likely on quicker tires. So,
1
Now Kev is starting to put a gap on Dalavan.
Over a second.
But Crazy's losing the most time out of anyone here. He could fall back even behind Johnny if he decides to repair some damage.
Cassie's pulling his way back up the down line. Could be actually quite a good start for the ID team. Potential 1-2 here.
Down to the final 15 minutes as everyone is relatively separated. It's a shame though for Flip, who wasn't really able to recover from his spin. Still quite a ways back from the top 6.
I think that's one he's going to be kicking himself back. What Hondex does now. Yeah, he's got almost enough. This is about as on the line as it gets.
So Hondex in for his pit stop. Will most likely lose top 5. As Razy's also decided to come in as well. Kaz still fighting Dalavan, slight contact off the exit of the corner. Dalavan just kind of is trying to keep pace with Kev, although he doesn't really have anywhere to go.
Wait, is that Hondex already coming out?
I think it's a little too late. Now the lead switches to Kev in the Audi, now fighting Dalavan and Kaz's teammate. Hondex will come out 4th though, so it still worked out for him. And looks like Razy will come out in 5th. So probably opting not to repair that damage on Razy's side.
He's repairing the less.
Oh, meanwhile up ahead though, with Kaz, I think he had a bit of a moment there with Dalavan. Up the inside though. Side by side. Got more push down the straight. It looks like Dalavan is gonna break a little bit later. Hold on to 2nd place. Guys looking to dive it down to the inside. Ooh, very close. Just barely tapping the back of Dalavan's bumper. He's gonna slide his way into the inside here. Might be a little too much sliding though. Keeps it together, although Dalavan's still down the inside. Ooh, slight contact. But looks like Dalavan is going to relinquish that spot for now. And it is an Audi 1-2. Well, there's Hondex right there. He is still very much fast. He can come back into this if he's quick enough.
Kaz and Dalavan fighting this outlap actually didn't lose all too much time.
Yeah, I don't think this fight is over between 2nd and 3rd yet though. Dalavan's still got a decent amount of straight line speed.
If they don't watch out soon, it's going to be coming back to 4th to 2nd.
But this has allowed Kev to We're about a 5-second gap on these guys. I wonder if maybe Galvan's tires are starting to overheat, so he had to back off just a little bit. But can't back off for too much because Hondax is closing in at a very fast rate. Just under 10 minutes to go. The track is practically shrouded in darkness at this point. Still, by no means is this over just yet, and it's still relatively close on track.
We are in the last 10 minutes now.
Got a small bit of lap traffic of the Nissan just ahead. I don't know if it's going to play a factor. We could go on board Dalavan. Would be interesting to see how he takes the corners in comparison.
Seems to go a little bit wider. Okay, you can see Katrina getting up close and personal with the curb as well. So you can see a little bit further away.
You should probably see who has what kind of time penalty still. That could still play a factor. Honda still has a 10-second. Valley actually has 18 seconds. So
That's gonna hurt a little bit.
with both the leaders having penalties themselves, that kind of evens itself out. But Dalavan needs to get a second on Kaz if he wants to get second place. Hondax might be completely out of it because I don't see him gaining 10 seconds on these guys.
I mean, the bar is complex. I just try and lock down that he's in a bit of a tricky position because as long as Racing's within 10 seconds of Honda, he can snag that fourth place.
Still a very close fight for fourth place with Hondax's 10-second penalty. Easy looks to finally be picking up the pace after getting his damage repaired, so who knows?
I mean, Racing was only 3/10 quicker that lap. 3/10, that means that Hondax is relegated to 4. That's all it takes.
With Dalavan though, seems like Cass is starting to pick up the pace. Starting to get away though. Dalavan might have exhausted all that Cadillac has to give, really.
Maybe even what he has to give. These races can get quite physically tiring. Especially if you've been in some intense battles.
can still go with this. Hondax is still keeping himself within the margin. He just has a little bit a little bit of an edge on Razy. So not too long. If Dalavan doesn't pick up the pace, it could catch even him. And that sort of leaves the potential to Hondax getting slowed down just a little bit.
Which might allow Race to get just a little bit closer. It's actually still there though. They're still on that 10-second gap.
Yeah. Who knows what the race could have turned into if Hondax didn't have that penalty, or if even Razy and Flip didn't get involved in their incidents. I reckon they'd still be up here in this fight. Both Flip and Razy really just not able to recover from their incidents.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame though, because Flip really showed a lot of speed last race.
Hondax kind of recovered, although kind of shot himself in the foot with that penalty.
Yeah, it's just something you could say is unnecessary, but it's something to try to go for.
So really, the Audi guys have kind of been the flawless ones all day, along with Galavan. A hard-fought finish if they can round it out like this. With just 3 minutes to go on the clock, so roughly 2 more laps.
Hondax is actually losing time to Kevin and Cass. Actually bringing some really good times now.
Ooh, Hondax. Very slippery there. That might lose him some time to Razy.
That's lost him 3 seconds.
So this might put Razy into de facto 4th place with Hondax's penalty. Have to see though, there's a lot of people here who can win these races. It just kind of depends on who can put it all together.
Yeah, I mean, Dalavan last race, he just spun a couple of times. That ruined his pole position, but this time he actually kept it really clean.
He's gonna come around the final sector to start the final lap of the race. Practically flawless this entire race, so we'll be looking to close it off and seal the first win for Audi in the GT3 season. We'll start things off with a 1-2 nonetheless. It'll be a really interesting statement.
It'll definitely be very good morale for the team.
Well, Hondax was able to get some of his time back, although, ooh, you see there in the background, that was Razy and went kind of wide. As now Razy has a time penalty.
Let's see how much. What? 43 seconds?
I mean, I knew he ran wide, but does that count?
I don't think. Wait. No, there's no way he got 43 seconds out of just running one.
I don't know.
He's got a lot of damage again. Is that just...
I think that's been there. Either way, strange development. We'll have to wait and see by the finish. As now Flip has a penalty too.
Second. So that leaves only Joe and Yuvi who don't have penalties.
Well, congrats to them, I guess. I guess they get the squeaky clean award.
That's 85% of all the drivers in the lobby have got penalties.
Well, that just shows that they're both pushing it. Oh yeah, it's pretty suspicious that both Janettas got penalties on the last lap. But meanwhile, Kev is going to come across the line, and he's going to win the very first race in 2020 for the GT3 cars. Cass will come across the line to make it a 1-2 for Audi Sport, and then Dalavan to make it the podium for the Cadillac. Hondax across the line, although we'll see if he keeps fourth. Heck, just waving around might have cost him some time there. Although, oh yeah, that's right, with Razy's penalty, we'll have to wait and see how that gets settled out. So Hondax keeps his fourth. Going across the line. He is going to pass Razy for fifth place, and this is just going to absolutely ruin Razy's day. He's going to get passed by Flip and possibly Joe as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that might be a glitch by the game or if that was it's going real quick in the pits, but I can't see you'd be going that quick in the pits. You'd get 43-second time penalty.
Flip across the line, he is seventh. For a 43-second penalty, he only lost one spot. It might have been a blessing then. Meanwhile, everyone else crossing the line, Mike, Bowie, and others a lap down. Nah, he's multiple laps down.
Yeah, Joe's the only one still losing.
Yeah, Joe, I think, is the last car in the lead lap. So he will come across to finish 8th. And there you have it. The first race is done, and as you can see, it is Kev, Cass, and Dalavan, your top 3. Hondax, Johnny, Razy, Flip, Joe, Mike, Bowie, Jukebox, Yubi, Toby to end off 13th, and I believe the Donkey and Daza to round out 14th and 15th. Geez, pretty much just about everyone got a penalty. We'll wait to see if Racy's 43-second penalty stands, but I'm pretty sure that came from when he ran wide, because I know I saw a car ran wide there. But who knows, maybe we can get an interview and see for ourselves. I don't suppose you would want to set that up.
I'm just trying to check now again. Who said Bowie wanted to? Bowie. And who's the other one? Let's see.
Alright, well, stick around and we'll see if we can have some driver interviews in just a moment.
I'll just ask again.
Yeah, you'd probably have to open the chat too. I'll let you handle who gets in and whatnot.
Trying to get some people, but can't seem to find anyone. Let's see.
Well, I'd imagine they'd be pretty
Oh,
exhausted.
Kevs wants to. Let's get him in. I've sent the invite, so.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Good, and you?
Good.
I'm really happy.
Of course, you won.
So, how is it winning the first race of the season? Or the first official race?
It's really nice, of course, because I'm already ahead of the whole pack in terms of points now. And my father always told me winning the first race is the most important thing ever. And being
Yeah.
in the front in the first couple of races.
Well,
Yeah,
it's,
good starts, half the job.
how'd the race look from your perspective?
Well, it was pretty calm. I decided to pit a bit late, and I decided to change my tires, so I had a fast pace again, like in the beginning of the race, and that made me win too.
Right, well, the move of the race, well, it seemed like was when you passed Galvin after the pit stop cycle. So you took tires during then?
Yes, I changed tires, so I would have grip again, and that's why I easily passed Cass and Delavan.
Well, while it was a really good race for you, you didn't get lucky when it came to time penalties. In fact, roughly nearly the entire grid got a time penalty, so what do you have to say about
Yeah,
that?
it's a tough track to not get time penalties. I experienced that with GT5's Wednesday too.
Do you have
It's
anything,
really
Dutch?
hard not to get a penalty here.
Okay, and also, for the team, it must be quite a good, quite a good ending to the first race. So, thoughts on that?
Yeah, 1-2. Cassius has came in second. Really good start of the Constructor Championship. Maybe we could win it again. That will be nice.
Oh,
2 in a row.
I got a question. What are your thoughts on the supposed Mercedes steering wheel?
The Mercedes steering wheel.
Yes.
I've seen it, and I think it's just great how they innovated it.
Well,
I mean, such technology. You just change the toe-in angle during the race. That's just great.
well, we suspected that they might be on the Mercedes GT3 cars. Any comment about that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't
Hondex
hope
was
so.
pretty quick.
Hondex was pretty quick. After he did his drive-through, I was in first place, and then I just constantly looked at the gap between him and me to see if he was gaining. And then I saw he was gaining, and I had to push. And I was really happy he was behind me. Because if it wasn't for him to have the drive-through, I think he would have won the race.
Yeah, because then he probably also wouldn't have had the 10-second time penalty.
Yes, that's a shame too. I saw Racy had a 48 second time penalty.
Yeah, that's still being decided upon.
I don't think it's worthy. It's fair.
Yeah, it might be just a little bit of a glitch in the system, but
it's definitely a bit of a glitch.
Well, thank you for giving us your 2 cents on it. We definitely hope and wish you the best of luck in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you guys for commentating, of course. It's really nice to have people commentating over your race.
Yeah, of course.
And by the way, this one was for Alienzo.
Right, right. Well, I mean, it's not like we get paid to do this.
It would have been nice.
I wish I could get paid to do this.
I see you guys next time. I've got to go.
Right.
Good luck next time commentating. Have a nice weekend.
And good luck to you with the next race.
Thank you. I will prepare this time again. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Anyone else?
I think Hondex wants to join as well, so we'll get his view on the jump start. Yes.
Yep. Well, it was a tough race for you, but tell us what happened from your perspective. Right, well, you were one of the faster cars on track. Did you think you had a chance to get back at the podium? Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on, the chat's saying they can't hear you. Is that your mic settings? Okay, let me check on the chat. Okay, try saying something.
Now they should hear me. Yeah, it was a setting on my side. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, yeah, it's
Do
picking
they hear
up
me
on...
now? I think that it should be fine now.
Yeah, it's picking up on the stream now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Alright,
So, yeah.
if you wanna...
So, quick repeat for the guys in the stream, maybe. So, yeah. Jumped the start, got a 10-second penalty in the pits. And after that, my race was pretty good, I think. My pace was good. And, yeah, still pretty happy with that.
Right. And I'll just ask the first question again if you thought you could catch them up again.
Basically, with the 10-second penalty, I knew from the beginning that was not going to happen because the other guys are pretty fast. So, yeah.
And now to the most important question: are you using the new Mercedes steering wheel?
Well, of course, wouldn't you? Well, that's pretty impressive piece of engineering. So yeah,
Well, you
I'm curious to see how it pans out in the season. So I heard FIA will ban it in 2021. So yeah, it's basically for one season.
well, you heard it here first. The Mercedes cars are indeed running the new steering wheel.
Well, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Well, Dutch, do you have a question?
Not really.
No. I was hoping you did.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to think of one, but I couldn't think of anything. So I mean, you've explained everything pretty well. So
Well, we do wish
Well
you the
then.
best of luck in the future.
Yeah, thanks guys, and also thanks for the commentary. You are both doing a great job.
Thank you. It's not like we get paid to do this.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm
But we're
kidding.
doing this for us, so.
I'm kidding,
Yeah.
of course, though. Don't take it too personal, Razy.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, guys. So thanks again, and have a nice evening.
Right,
too.
right. You too.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
You have anyone else?
Bowie really wants to get onto the stream, so.
Oh boy. What car was he again? It was Nissan. It was Nissan. Right. Don't tell me.
Oh, wait, I actually don't have him in my friends list.
I'll
you,
wait.
wait, do you have him?
Give it a
I'll just-
minute. Let's see what we got here. Well, I don't see him online. He might be online, I just can't see him. Alright, well, give us a minute and see if we can get Bowie on this.
Bowie underscore, I think. I got it.
Alright. Yeah, well, we know Bowie's race didn't exactly go to plan.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of a shame in the beginning when he got collected, but yeah, and then a couple incidents here and there.
Yeah. Well, especially in the first part where both Nissans got collected there. Well, I guess while we're waiting, who do you think was driver of the day?
That's a bit of a difficult one because a lot of people had actually really good drives. But in terms of consistency, it's probably Kev because he didn't even have any slides or anything.
True, true. I might give it to Hondak simply for his run back through the field. You know,
Yeah, from almost last back to full.
if it wasn't for the 10-second time penalty, it could have been a real podium contender, honestly. So I think I'll give it to him. Did he get the invite?
He hasn't accepted my friend request yet, so now I'm sad.
You asked on Discord first, right?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, well, we'll see if we can get him in here.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's send this again.
Okay.
Ah, there we go.
We'll get him in here, don't worry about it.
Oh, and then he's not online. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Invite sent. Hello.
There you go.
Didn't need to be so mean in the Discord.
Oh, I am. I'm very mean. I'm always mean, especially against fellow Dutchmen, and that's when I'm the meanest. So, especially today, I was pretty much literally the Flying Dutchman at some point.
Yeah, you're actually going really quick, but a couple of incidents here and there seem to have ruined your race. So, what's your opinion on that then?
Well, pretty much, I just got my race got ruined in turn 2. I saw somebody spin up ahead with contact. I believe it was Razy and a Bentley, but I'm not sure. And I had nowhere to go. I just straight up hit them, and it gave me about 38 damage or something at the front. And I tried to drive around until like the pit stop area, the pit stop phase, until the mid of the race. It just cost so much time, and during the damage, it just made the car so unstable that I spun a lot of times. I got much of time penalties and such, so it really ruined my race. And afterwards, just a few more time penalties, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right, well, I mean, it's always you can always improve going further, so what do you think needs to be done?
Less time penalties, that's for sure. Pretty much just that's mainly the main thing. Actually, I didn't get really much time to practice with this car, so I pretty much had just yesterday to practice with it. So I need to put some more practice in and see what the car behaves on the track, of course, especially during the night time. Because during the night time, it felt really fast. I actually put in some very decent times during the race, but it's probably just the setup that was the thing. So yeah.
Well, here's an interesting question. What made you pick the Nissan for this season? Or Nissan?
Pretty much just straight up, I like cars that are not picked that much. If it wouldn't have been the Nissan, it probably would have been the Cadillac or something. Because, in my opinion, the Audi is a very good car, it is, but it just behaves too easy. It's a very easy car to handle and to go fast with. And the Nissan is definitely not. So I'd like to try and make cars that are pretty hard to handle quick and see where I end up, pretty much, you know?
Alright, well, this just in, Kev is calling you out, saying that apparently the two of you had plenty of practice. So
Yeah, well, he gave me a shit setup, so it doesn't work. I mean, he's on a controller and I'm on a steering wheel, so everything is completely different for me than it is for him, so...
That is true.
Well, that's for the two of you to settle.
Pretty much feels like a married couple, to be honest. Two Dutchmen just going at it in Discord.
Well, Dutch, do you have anything?
I had something, but I've forgotten it now. Amazing.
I'm such an interesting person that you forgot your question. Alright.
Just your aura, just... Oh.
I have a very calm aura, pretty much.
Very impressive.
Well, I guess we'll leave it up to the GT3 chat to figure this out.
I guess. Probably gonna have Joe after me as well for not letting him by, so we'll see about that.
Oh yeah, you were around the Bentleys quite a bit this race. What was it like racing them?
Quite scary when you see them in the rearview mirror, gonna be honest. Especially when it's Joe right behind you and you see Juke in the background, also in your back mirror, just closing in. It's quite scary.
But we found it quite amusing when you and Joe were fighting and then you half spun or something and then you were right in front of Duke and it was pretty much the exact same scenario, just different people.
Yeah, pretty much my bad driving made it fun. Alright.
No, that's not. Never mind.
We're having too much.
Gonna be honest, it was pretty fun. I mean, you can say what you want, but Joe is an amazing driver, even though he has quite the age. Gonna be honest, but he's an excellent driver. Defending, attacking, the constant driving, constant lap times. He's very good. So to battle with him on track is very interesting and very difficult.
We're having too much fun with this. So, is there anything else you'd like to say? Or at least to Kev, who keeps talking in the chat?
Well, first of all, no, you can't claim lies. That's one thing. And for the rest, for the next race, I'm just gonna completely forget what the blue flags are. That's it. Yeah.
Just whenever Kev comes around, just... Oh, I'm gonna go
Just
right...
completely forget what the blue flags are, yeah. Just gonna disengage my rearview mirrors, just none of them on my car.
Just... You're gonna be in a little accident where your mirrors will suddenly fly off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it reduces the weight.
Exactly. You could see it in the last Ferrari race as well, where somebody lost their rear mirror wing as well. They just started flying pretty much up to Mars, and that's it.
Well,
That's my aim for the next race.
well, I hope you live up to it, I guess.
This is a very interesting interview, not gonna lie.
Someone's gotta beat the new Mercedes steering wheel.
I've got my own one. It just moves to towards me while it's on my desk, and at some point during the race, I just have it pushed back on my rear or my desk, so it just slips.
Well, I mean... I don't
Except
know,
for the Mercedes, it's good for the car. For me, it's not, because it happened to me once before, where I just got completely loose of the desk, and I just held it in my hands like shit.
What do I do now?
Yeah, pretty much. Just with one hand hold the steering wheel thing, and then on the other hand try to steer it, and I can tell you it's not working. It's not.
Alright, well, this has gotten
I can't
completely...
think it's much of an advantage having that, but...
Alright,
Not
well,
really. No.
I mean, whatever you do to get the advantage.
It was pretty much a disadvantage, but okay. Yeah, sure.
Alright, well, this has gone on for long enough, so...
We can
Thank
still talk for 3 hours, so I'm just gonna leave you guys to it.
We gotta end it at some point. Well, thank you, Bowie. Hey.
I'm just gonna shut up. Go on.
No, by all means, thank you for your wise words.
Sure.
Unless you just want to stay here while we end the stream.
He can say goodbye with us.
Very well. We hope you enjoyed this live broadcast coverage of the GT3s at Dubai. I have been CypherKnight77.
I've been Dutch Muso.
I've been the best driver on track.
And we'll see you next week. Alright, goodbye.